Dear Lebanon, your location and your diversity put you at the hub between continents and cultures. You have an impressive ability to absorb hardships. Yet you rarely confront the causes of them.
Who the hell is responsible?
I still can't get the images out of my head. The explosion took me reeling back to the days of civil war.
At the end of the war, the warlords were given promises of public money.
We have the same politicians, the same ones killed. They're still here, which is like, what?
You have so much vested interests in the system, which led us to this very tragic situation.
لماذا لم تبادر هذه المواد المتفجرة?
And why didn't the president do anything about it?
I don't know.
Corruption is eating up everything in the country.
We have to buy bottles of water, which costs more than petrol now.
The crazy floating power stations.
The system will not be changed from the top.
Elections are the only tool that we have.
I don't believe the voting process is legitimate.
So are you still confident with your decision?
100%.
If we do not fix ourselves, the people will revolt against us.
We Lebanese people, we're strong. We're very strong, and we're stubborn.
What is your dream for Lebanon?
To become a nation.
We are Lebanese! All of us! Shame on you for dividing us! These politicians, they deserve to be in jail! Enough is enough!
Dear Lebanon, you're too important to let fail. We believe in the idea of Lebanon. The thing is, Lebanon, do you still believe in that idea? This is a question only you can answer.
On Island Lashin, there will be Apox Film Festival, and Enough Lebanon's Darkest Hour will be shown as an introduction film, first film on the festival. Now we will have an interview with Daizy Gedeon.
Very much, Ivana, and thank you to the APOX Film Festival, the organisation committee and the judges for accepting the film and understanding the value of the film for your festival, and the great honour to be part of something new and important in the film industry.
25 years after releasing your debut film, Lebanon in Prison Splendor, you decide once again to release a second film, Enough Lebanon's Darkest Hour. What events actually motivated you to share Lebanon's story again?
There had been tremendous change in Lebanon since my first film, and there was a lot of improvement and growth in the country, and I thought that it was time to re-educate and enlighten people about Lebanon, because it's a little country but has a big impact in the world. Always a lot of news, negative news about Lebanon. And I wanted to, re-engage the story, to bring the new story to the world. We started in 2017 filming. We started in 2016 doing research, and we really didn't finish the film until this year. But as you mentioned, the film we thought would be finished production in 1 year, but things kept developing in Lebanon, and the situation became worse and worse, and we were just following the story with our cameras and our taking notes, and just seeing the country destroyed, getting worse and worse and crumbling, and economically, sociologically, environmentally, the violence, the difficulty for the people, and the situation was so critical, we couldn't stop filming. And last year, like you mentioned, was the big event, very tragic story of the explosion of the port. And it's almost like it put a full stop, like a point. The story didn't finish because the economic crisis, and today Lebanon is in a horrible situation. And if I didn't live here now and see what's happening, I wouldn't believe how terrible the situation is for the people. But yes, it took many years unraveling the story to get us to this film that we finally released.
Okay, looking for people who are willing to share their
Yes.
story or the vision of economic, political, social situation in Lebanon. Was it challenging to find people who would talk openly about corruption, basic human rights, etc., or they were eager to talk about their problems to you?
In the beginning, in 2017, when we came for 6 weeks for the first film shoot, they were very reluctant to talk about the corruption openly. They like whispering. They all know, that everyone knows, but they're scared to talk about it, and they're scared to mention anyone's names, but they talk about how hard the life is and how difficult for the business to succeed, and you have to pay this one and pay this one and talk to this one, and nothing is formal, nothing is accurate. It's all because of favors or people you know and paying this one. So it was difficult to find people to talk openly. And that's 2017. And then 2018, we came back and the election happened in May. And still the people nervous to talk, but they talk quiet behind the camera, not in front of the camera. But by the time 2019, October 2019, and the revolution happened in Lebanon, 17th of October, the people reach here like it's explosion in their head. They had enough. So I came back for the revolution to film. And by this stage, the people were all, the names of everyone, all of the political leaders, all of the people involved, business people, the big business people, they were screaming their names because the people reach suffering to the point they have nothing. And this was a journey, and you see it in the film, how from the beginning they don't want to talk, or they're quiet, or and then it's boof, they're like, you see the degradation and the destruction of a country before your eyes and the people. So it's that's exactly right. It was difficult in the beginning. Then eventually they talked.
I understood next year you have elections again in 2022.
That's correct, yes. And the film is very important to come out and to be seen and to be shared before the elections, because next year, if they let us have elections, because the government is trying to not have the elections, but because they're scared, there's a lot of movement for change. The elections are in May. At the moment, the date is May 8, 2022. So this film is to wake up the Lebanese and wake up the people, the Lebanese in around the world, the diaspora, because they have the right to vote, but they need to register to vote, and they need to be ready to vote, and they need to understand who to vote for. And one of the problems we had when we were filming, and one of the problems people had in the 2018 election, they said they don't know who to vote for. There's only the same people. And some new people came, but they didn't know who they are. So this time I've been in Lebanon now nearly 2 months since the Cannes Film Festival. We came, and I'm a bit stuck in Lebanon because Australia closed its borders, so I can't go home yet. But I'm very happy to be here to learn more about the groups who are standing in the elections next year. And I'm very confident that there is very good people and strong groups, smart people. They study the situation very well, and they are preparing to stand in the next election. So we have a very good chance coming. And now the Lebanese in Lebanon and around the world, wherever they are, even in Croatia, there's Lebanese. Lebanese are everywhere. They need to register. They need to stand up and vote when they have the chance to vote. For Croatia, for Australia, for America, for France, Europe, we are voting on the 24th of April. So we have to be aware of this and make sure we vote before the elections in Lebanon. It's 8th of May, but the diaspora, they vote on 24th of April.
Okay. So you think maybe also the revolution, let's say, can also come from outside of Lebanon?
100%. Absolutely. It's very difficult for people here. They're under oppression, they're suffering. The salary of the average person went from $1,000 per month to $50 per month. It's unbelievable. To fill your car with petrol costs you $30. So what you have left to eat, to do anything. And the petrol is going up, and there's no petrol in Lebanon because the mafia is selling the petrol to Turkey or to Syria or somewhere else. They make 20 times more money, but the people here, they can't live. They have to wait in a queue for 5 miles. They wait for 5 hours to get petrol. This is happening reality now. So the revolution has to come from outside, from people in a good situation, in a country it's stable, and they have to support the Lebanese, their people, their family, their relatives, their friends, and they have to support them by voting, by speaking to the embassy, the Lebanese embassy and the consulate, and saying we must have election. Don't stop our voice. Do not silence the voice of the Lebanese around the world. We must have the right to vote. We are a democratic country. We have the right to vote. It's a very serious situation, very, very hot, and there's a lot of suffering in the country. Desperation. It's desperation.
Yes, it is felt through the film, I need to say. And you now also mentioned about the petrol mafia and also other political corruption levels there are in Lebanon. You also in this film, you interviewed some key Lebanese political leaders that are called responsible in the film. So my question is, what meant to you, asking them that questions and calling them responsible for the situation in Lebanon?
You know, it was I was very nervous because, you know, not they can do anything to me, but it's hard, you know, to look someone in the eye and tell them you are corrupt without saying you are corrupt. But this is the voice of the people. My responsibility as a journalist and filmmaker is to ask so many people and get their opinion and then speak on behalf of the people, because I was lucky to sit in front of the Prime Minister, the Justice Minister, the Foreign Minister, the Hezbollah Minister, so many, and ask them the same. The leaders, Dr. Samir Geagea for the Lebanese forces, all of them. You are the people are saying are responsible for the corruption, for the suffering, for no society, no roads, no public transport, no electricity, no water, no schools, and you are in control for decades. And so, you know, they have their excuses. You know, they make the excuse, and they, as you see in the film, everyone say, I'm trying, I'm not guilty, I'm innocent, my party is good, it's this one, and it's this one. You know, it's incredible, incredible. But you are the prime minister, or you are the president, or you are the responsible. The position of the prime minister or the president or the speaker or are the responsible to run the country, not to sit like children playing in a school, arguing, fighting. It's like this. You see the little girl in the film. She's 100% correct. She's better. This 5-year-old child is understanding what's happening more than these 50, 60, 70-year-old men who've been in the politics for 3, 4, 5 decades, and all of their friends playing. You see, it's like a game for them. I want this one, you take this one, I take this one. It's unbelievable. There's a country. And what is worse, the worst thing of all of this is the international community, the EU, the Americans, the British, the Canadians, the Australians, everyone, the French, talk to these people like they are something important and treat them like they are doing a good job for their people. And they can all see. They come to Lebanon and they go from one palace to another palace. They don't walk in the street with the suffering, with the beggar, with the man desperate to feed his family. These political leaders around the world, and the World Bank and the IMF and Germany, everyone, it must stop endorsing the corruption, the criminals that are running Lebanon. They have all their money in your countries, all of their money and their buildings and their houses and their palaces are in Europe, in America, in England, everywhere. They have their money outside. This must stop. This is what we're asking now, is that the international community stop threatening the sanctions, because Europe, EU, France, there's threat for sanctions on these people, but it's been 6 months, nothing's happened. So it's time for the world to listen to the suffering of the people and take serious action and impose the sanctions. And I call on the Croatian government too, because Croatia is part of the EU, and the EU is making a big decision. I think on the 12th of September, or very soon, they have a big meeting, and we need all of the leaders of the European communities and countries to stand for Lebanon and the people of Lebanon, to help us.
Yes, I agree, and I hope, and I know it will, this film educate a lot of people that it needs to be heard, the voice through the film. And but I think you partly also answered my next questions, but I will still ask it. It's what is the key message you want that reaches the people, that reaches the European community, worldwide community that will see the film? What is the key point you wish to share?
Sorry, I missed some of it. The key message for the Lebanese, yes, or for the world community?
For the world, that you want that when they see the film, what you want they take for themselves.
Okay, what I want is this a message not just for Lebanese, it's a message for human beings, for every individual human being to understand Lebanon didn't happen like this one day. We wake up and this problem. It's the problem one day, and after 4 decades, we are the responsible, the Lebanese people, because we didn't stand and stop to these people. We didn't vote against them before. We vote for them, or we didn't vote, and we let them do this to us. So in your own country, don't let the criminal or the guilty or the corrupt, or anytime you see something wrong, don't just walk away like this. Don't turn your head. Be kind, be straight. Don't be violent, but say, no, I don't accept this, and I don't allow this to continue, because otherwise you will allow the bad behavior to become the normal behavior. And this is our problem. So I ask everyone, for us Lebanese, we have to vote. Next year, everyone must register. We must vote. And for the world community, if you have the chance to vote, vote. Let your voice be heard. If you have any desire to change, you must get involved in politics. You have to. I know we all hate politics, but you can't change anything if you don't get involved in politics. We need more good people in politics, and we need the world to wake up and see our society is changing, because we are going over here and watching movies, going over here and being on social media and letting the bad people control our lives. We need to take charge of our lives. This is my message for all of us.
Mm-hmm. The next question is, so as I understood also from the film, religion is also very very big part of forming the government. So yes. What would you, I mean, I see from other internet information, and so Lebanon, Beirut, you had a very nice way of living, very nice coast, people, nature is beautiful. So is it maybe a different, more secular system of government important to develop in the change of government?
Definitely,
system?
definitely.
Sorry.
Yes, you're right, because the religious confessional system, it's the thing that is, it used to be a nice, good quality about Lebanon, because it gives a voice and a place for every religion, 18 religions, everyone must be in government. But this is not good in practice long-term when you have bad people controlling it. If you have good, honest, decent system and people, maybe it's different and it can continue. But the reality is, everywhere in the world, you need proper controls, and you need people qualified to fulfill the role of president, qualified to fulfill the role of prime minister, qualified to be the culture minister or economics minister or trade. We don't have this. We have people who are, okay, he's with this party and he's this religion and he likes me and I can convince him to vote with me. I nominate him. He doesn't have any idea about economics or culture or education, but he can learn. But because he's with my group and he vote with me, and we can get these deals and get this contracts from the government and give to my people over here. This is the whole system in Lebanon. It's not based on credibility, meritocracy, qualifications. It's based on clientelism. Who knows who is going to help who will give me this contract, I can give them this contract. This has to go, stop. X, no more. Lebanon is not the only country this happened, because there are too many countries in the world this corruption and this happened. But Lebanon is the worst situation anywhere in the world. No country in the world, nowhere, is like what's happening in Lebanon today. Nowhere. This is why it's an extreme situation. So we need secular, we need religion to be beautiful. We love faith. We are God-loving people. I love my faith. If you love your faith, if you don't believe in God, it's okay. We accept everyone. But your religion should not be in the government and decide which one get which job. This is incorrect. This must stop.
Okay, I really wish you be heard. And also, you said you were in Cannes, I think 1 month ago. Yeah. Now comes the Apox Film Festival on Island Loshin. Then what's next? What are next plans? Where people can see the film?
Well, first of all, it's very exciting to be invited to festivals. It's very important because being in the Epochs Film Festival, people will see it from Croatia and people visiting, and they will start to learn and educate and open their eyes and learn about Lebanon. And I hope this is my biggest gift to people. But we have been invited to the Chelsea Film Festival in New York, which is happening in the middle of October, and a couple of other festivals. So it's doing the festival circuit now. Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival, Docs Without Borders in January. And there's a little hint that it might be, we're waiting for official notification. There's a big festival in the Middle East that they want an exclusive for the MENA region. So I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to mention it. But really the next 4 or 5 months, it's still in festivals, but we will launch the film. We should launch officially into theatrical release in December. And we will be back in Australia, our home country, because this is an Australian production. We should be back in December and launching early February in Australia. So it will be rolling out across the world, America, South America, Canada, Europe, all throughout from December forward. And hopefully before the election, so people will be able to see the film.
Before 2022.
Before May 2022, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. Now I have quick interview. It's actually, if you want, I give you just words and then you pop out the first association that gets to your mind. Okay, we can start.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Lebanon.
Sadness.
Rule of law.
Important.
Democracy.
Democracy.
Hard one.
Yeah, it's unquestionable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a must.
Mm-hmm. Social justice.
Empowerment.
Mm-hmm. Religion.
Faith.
Mm-hmm. Mediterranean Sea.
Glorious.
Art.
Imagination.
Sport.
Fitness.
And finally, Australia.
I'd like to invite everyone in Croatia attending the APOX Film Festival, and those who are not quite decided to please come to the APOX Film Festival. It's exciting to be part of it. I'm very honoured to be part of this and to be opening the festival. And I encourage you to come see my film, but see all the films that are really important. Documentaries are things that change your mind and change the world. So please attend the festival in the APOX Film Festival and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daisy. It was a real pleasure. Thank you.